Well, welcome everybody. Dojo, Monday night. It's March 9th, Monday. It's good to be here. I am excited. We have another big rolling thunderstorms set coming in, and I think we're going to get a little cooler weather, so I'm really excited about that. And James, your mouse trap, the compassion of your mouse trap today reminded me of the van and that little pignon pine mouse. He had the cutest little ears. They were so big, they double his face. And I had to travel long and far to get a live trap
Mm.
because the wisdom was too good to kill. I was like, I'm not going to kill this guy. He was, I mouse trapped him and I actually knocked him out of the van with my little peanut butter at the bottom of a little soft garbage can. So it worked. But actually trying to think like a mouse was part of the shamanic coyote medicine as far as tracking and bringing all that energy of everything being an aspect of me and what my compassion is, how scared he was of me and how scared I was of him.
Hmm.
We were equally freaked out.
Yeah.
But that 1 a.m. thing really can mess with your circadian rhythms.
Yeah. Well, mice are one of the few creatures that don't have a lot of registered neuromelanin, which means they can't really lie to themselves about what they're experiencing. So not only are they like, green of the South and like, everything's right in front of them, they have no ability to filter. And it makes them a very honest and powerful kind of medicine, you know. Animals are so freaking they're just so awesome. I was giving some deer some apples today and I was like, look at me just throwing you guys apples and you guys just staring at me. Just it's just such a cool, yeah, it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, I was also watching humans and animal behaviors of domesticated, of both a cat and a dog, and how much we're willing to love an animal like that and give it presence and witness and not really be present to another human because
Mm.
I really think it it makes their human feel safe. Um, but all that attention, it's being like with a parent of a 2-year-old, but the 2-year-old never grows up. So the 2-year-old is always demanding all your attention. And you kind of train. I kind of had a little dog that was kind of trained to be really needy, and it trained me really well. And I was very willing participant.
Hmm.
So I can really see in the compassion of um, in these times how we can have these little animal spirits and uh, to to help us, find
Yeah.
our way, and and how I had so much more calories for the witnessing of the experience. In the past, I would have been like, "Oh, this is really frustrating. We can't have a conversation because you know." And the gift of the reality of the situation is when the person with the dog, she just brought her dog in, and she's like, I just feel like I just don't deserve this dog. Like, I don't give it enough attention. And I said, if you gave it any more, I really don't know if you would, you know, you could focus on anything else. And that's not a bad thing. I think she was trying to talk to me about why I rehomed my dog to a couple because I wasn't home enough for her. And I was like, well, this kind of companionship actually serves this person, and she's defending it because I chose something different. And if I hadn't chose what I chose, I wouldn't be where I am right now, but that doesn't mean it's right for everyone else.
Yeah.
So I think you did a great job on the live today saying this is my this is my thing. I'm not saying y'all shouldn't do whatever you do with mice, but this is my thing with these visitors, and I thought it was really wonderful to put that in context with
Well,
the compassion of the war thing, like killing what's innocent,
yeah,
unborn babies, and then
I didn't talk a lot about the other side of um so when I started working with owls, the one of the kind of trade-offs that you had to volunteer a lot. And then if you volunteer and you're always reading shit, you're always like, if you know the name of that vein, like everyone in the room freaks out. They're like, "Oh my god, and you just it doesn't take much to uh, install confidence." I was way into I mean, I still am into raptor rehab requires a certain kind of license. So it's sort of like a shamanic thing because you can only work with someone that has a license. And um, so in order for me to take owls home and like take them to schools and have them in my house and rehab them required that this wasn't like in the contract, but I had to drive to Raleigh every 6 to 8 weeks and wait outside this lab for a dude to unlock a secure gate. And I would go to the back into this cryogenic parking lot that had cryogenic coolers in the parking lot. And I would go to my assigned cooler and I would pick up my specimen, which was typically 400, 500 frozen mice. Yeah, frozen mice. And I would take them back to the wildlife center and treat them like gold, store them in a battery backup freezer, uh, separate them. They knew that these mice were for animal consumption. In other words, the lab knew that this was all legit. This was all there's like this is weirdly enough, this is all legit. And you would separate them into baggies so volunteers wouldn't overfeed because you may not be feeding all the time. You would proportion each of them, and then they were gold. They were valuable, and every frozen mouse was a it was a it was a thing for me. It was a it was like, James, what are you doing? And then you'd have like baby owls come in, and you'd thaw these guys out you'd slow thaw them. You'd thaw them out in the morning, and typically by evening, you could cut their guts open and pull out the insides and feed those to the baby owlings, and they would live and they would fucking grow. When their mom got hit by a fucking car, HBC. It's literally what you fucking write. It happens so much. It's just HBC. Fuck OHB. What do you got? I got 7 HBCs and a HBT. Oh my god, HBT. Yeah, hit by train. It never happens. And then you're in this precipice of fuck, man. I'm supposed to be loving animals. What did I do? What am I fucking doing? What is the right call? And I spent a lot of time on it. And I always thank the mice. The mice were dead anyway. I didn't. In fact, had we not been doing this, there's a fucking company that just sells live fucking mice delivered to your door so you can just eat them.
you can feed them to your snakes and stuff too.
Sure, this is what I mean by look, kill whatever you want to kill. I am a neurotic about certain things. That's all. I'm an animal autist, whatever the fuck that means, right? It's just so the magic of the owls, the communion of what I got to do, the sacrifice that was hard, man. And you're driving back it's a 5.5 hour drive. I'm not saying the drive's hard, but when you're driving back with a bunch of frozen mice, I feel it. I'm not just like, oh, let's go through the drive-through, or I'm going to stop and get coffee or whatever. I mean, it was just, but it's what you do.
Yeah.
It's what you think you should do. And the same things that you have to euthanize certain things, and you're just like, oh my fucking God, I got to do, and then you start thinking about clean kill, and then you realize I'm a fucking predator. I'm a fucking predator. And then you have to compassionate predator. You've never had to compassionate before. You've always been able to get by. Well, I'm a fucking pacifist. Fuck the world. Fuck you guys. I've never chosen the path of predator. Look at me. Yeah, I eat meat, but or no, I don't eat meat. Either way, there's a proprietary specialness, a virginity that you get to cling on to where you haven't been predator yet. I know that. I know that well. There's certain things that I'm still a virgin about. I'll brag. One of them, I'm fucking proud that I've never had my cocaine cherry busted. I've never once done fucking cocaine. I've always just known, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. It's just always been my thing about whenever I sense someone like, why are you in the bathroom? Why are three of you in the bathroom? Why are you snorting? Never mind. Never, get the fuck out of my house. Whoa, what a prude. Yeah, I'm a fucking prude. Get the fuck out of my house. If you can't do that in front of me, get the fuck out, right? There's hands up.
Hi, James. I took anatomy and physiology, so
Yeah, that too, Lori. Yeah. It's
I used a cadaver,
well,
and
we but
I
also would
learned.
harvest deer. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but it's like,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
had to watch a deer
yeah,
thresher literally
yeah,
go, here's how you do it, man. And I was just like,
yeah.
oh God, okay.
Well, I looked at all of that, like what happens when a person is a DNR and you're there to help. You're in a hospital to save a life, and you have to ask that question. And it's all these things that come up to consciousness and ethics. But I'm going to call on Dark Bloom. But first, I want to say, anyone new here, welcome. I'm really excited to see if you want to raise your hand, and there's reaction button on the bottom. Just raise your hand, and I'll call on you. So go ahead, Dark Bloom.
I really wanted to just come, I guess, to the campfire today and offer gratitude and witness, reflecting on Friday Dojo and the airship, and even here today, it's this theme where each of you have consistently, and James has set this tone. I don't know, saying I don't know, therefore I grow. And not knowing means that you keep going, you keep growing, because it's complicated out there. Um, and having watched and observed for a while, and the chaos of the internet itself, there's always this whatever was being faced with truth, but this current of grace where you're not. It's like I don't need to be right. I need to grow in each scenario that you come to. So, and I know that showing up here is probably hard for many people because it feels very it's exposure. But then when you're looking at the chaos of the internet and you're like, oh, I don't want to show up because so many people with rough energy show up. Okay, maybe they're showing up because you're not, or I'm not. Um, but each of you, and I'm grateful for this, each of you moves through the right of light and living and growing consistently. I've witnessed it. It's beautiful. This responsibility, the way that Renee brought it up, in the face of many things. And without knowing it, you even perform sacred rites in the mundane, okay? And I was thinking about Renee in particular today because I've been feeling kind of sick and fevery. And when I do, one of my go-to rituals is to cleanse my antenna, which is probably almost 3 feet long at this point. So it's a it's kind of a task. Um, and I'm very, very particular about who touches my hair. These antennae are sacred and sensitive. Its roots that come from my crown, and its roots or its crown reaches for my roots. Um, Honestly, like a willow tree. And I was thinking about how Renee's art is to tend and cleanse the antenna and imbue them with beauty, basically, which is such a gift when you find the right person to interface with it. They work with hair and they're aware. And I think she came up in particular because I was thinking today, like, man, I wish there was somebody around here who I was okay with touching my hair, but there's not. So, um, really, what I want to, I guess, point out within that is my hair as these willow branches, so that I may receive, weep, release for mourning, anger, joy, beauty, whatever these emotions are. And that cleansing and tending is sacred. It allows for that flow. And I'm just grateful to each of you, and I'm thanking you, even those here not here right now, for continuing to show up and be here and be the grace of change in motion, adaptable, resilient, flowing, and for sharing the art of yourselves in all that you do, each of you. And maybe truth is the last thing that shows up, but it's probably skipping in with grace, because that's the permission to know and change based on whatever truth we're facing. Whether it's what do I do with these mice in this situation, or how do I advance medicine without feeling like I'm desecrating something? And it's complicated. Thank you for being allowed to be complicated with each other and figure things out. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Dark Bloom. I really appreciate the share. I feel that way about my hair and my body. I don't just go to, if I'm traveling somewhere, everyone's like, oh, let's go for some massages. And I'm like, nope, I gotta vet the person touching my body. And I just don't, it's not a willy nilly thing, you know? And I do have people that I do, it's not about trust. It's about sacredness. With my vessel's sacred and how I tend it, and I just can't guarantee other people are going to tend it. um Short little story was, I have a friend that asked me to go to the massage convention this weekend, and I'm like, well, I would volunteer, but only if you worked on me. I wouldn't volunteer if, I had to switch out with other people. And I have a sister that wouldn't ever get a massage. So I don't know if it's something but I was kind of more willy nilly about massages until I really understood energy and how, energy is like mixed and we collapse waves together. And if a person is in a state and they're working on another person, I mean, that is like you're permeable, right? So anyhow, that's what I have. And thank you so much for being here, Dark Bloom. You always give a beautiful, deep medicine. So,
I just want to respond a little bit to that. Thanks, Dark Bloom. Yeah, it is a lot of touching that I do. It's so personal. My work and also the emotional component of my work is also intact. And I've been doing hair since I was 19, and I'm 57, so it's been a long time that I've been in people's fields. And I was kind of thinking, like, why did I even pick this job? It's just like, that's something to do. I don't want to go to college. That doesn't interest me. I just want to move out, get on with my life. And hairdressing seemed kind of fun. And, I could be my own boss and make my own schedule. And I was like, yeah, this seems fun. People seem cool. Like, I'm cool. Let's do it. But it really became so much more than that, as far as just learning a variety of different people, all different ages, all different ranges. I typically work with people pretty high up on the socioeconomic, not crazy, but, they pay a little bit more for the cuts. But so it's even a world, and a window into that world. So it's been a real blessing to be able to touch hair like I have for a big portion of my life. And some people even pointed out, like, who does she think she's only a hairdresser? Some people in this group, and I know that's a very common interpretation of what I do. She can't be that smart. She's just whatever. She's just stupid. But that's okay because it affords me a opportunity to just learn on my own at my own pace. So That's what I got. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Renee. I never underestimate the energy of someone working on my on my crown chakra. You can either come out feeling great, and it has nothing to do with the cut. It has everything to do with who's behind that energy. So I
You
really
know,
appreciate you. Go
you
ahead,
know,
James.
Renee's energy. I've seen her work, and I've seen her work when she isn't like in a official haircutting capacity. I've seen her work before that, and then so there's a priority override that Renee's energy has. It really does override a lot of boundaries, and it does this with people that have some pretty expensive, powerful boundaries. And I've seen the static discomfort it causes people realizing how vulnerable they are around her, precisely because her energy is so enamored, I think, in her practice. And honestly, I've never considered hairdressing. I mean, there's some obvious reasons, but I've never considered hairdressing as energy work until I met Renee and just saw it so clearly. And I never didn't see it. I just, like I said, I didn't really consider it. I'm just, you know, someone's gonna be like, "Hey, man, here's the magic bean. You want to grow some fucking hair?" I'd be like, "Rock on!" You know, and it'd be fun as fuck to have a mane. But until then, why am I gonna study the energetic equivalent of anything that works on hair? You know what I mean? It's just like it's kind of a dead end for me. So seeing her do that, I'm always enamored by her, the magic that she conveys. And honestly, I think it's precisely because of the method of what she does. It's really cool stuff. And I think every job has this magi kind of spirit, whether it be barrister, bartender, uh, code writer, artist, you get it. It's it's really cool energy exchange. That's all I got.
Thanks, James. Okay, Sarah, your hand's up. Go ahead.
Okay, wait. I was just having a snack too. I was out all day.
Don't choke,
Oh,
swallow.
where to start? I gave up on my hair. I just trim it myself, and it gets to be a mess sometimes. But yeah, that's just how it is right now. I can't find anybody that I like or that I want to pay that much for. Um, Last time I had a massage, it was an Asian woman, and she was using her phone to translate things to say to me, or if I had something to say. And she showed me one translation and it said, massage the chicken. And then to mice, have you thought about getting a cat or two that would control the mice? And you can get a cat door so they can come in and out if they need to. You don't even have to deal with the cat litter box and all that stuff. And it reminds me of I couldn't do the compassionating for so long. I have an perpetual ant issue here. And when they first started coming, I would just tell them, okay, I can bear a few of you, but if you bring your families, if you bring your relatives, you're out of here. And they did that, of course. It became a pretty bad infestation on my counters. They would crawl on my cutting board. They would crawl on my cord, on my phone, by my table. And it would get to the point that I would feel an itch somewhere, something somewhere, and it was an ant. And that's the point. It's like, no, I have to do something. And I'd asked the building manager, and I didn't want an exterminator inside. Um, well, first I tried those ant baits, because then they take it back to the queen, and I don't like any of it, but I can't do the ants to that degree that they're crawling on me and my food stuff. Um, And then they did call somebody and he sprayed the outer rim of the building, which I don't like either because there's one corner there and it's been over a year, but chickweed grows there and I want to eat it. But if I don't know how long you have to wait. if forever since they sprayed something. And I still have ants and they go everywhere. But yeah, and normally I'll have when I wild forage, I have what I call hijackers. So yesterday I had a couple little tiny beetles and I tried put them outside, or I had a little tiny snail, and I compassionate all of those. I put them outside, or I last month I got some oh of these, a few of these at a beach nearby. And when I got them home and I was washing them out, they had little sand crab inhabitants. And I felt really bad. I couldn't go back that day. It's, I don't know, half an hour or more away. It was already the end of the day. And I was starting to feel a little sick. So I made a little terrarium for it. And then I found more of them, rinsing them out. And I made a terrarium for them, thinking, oh, I'll go back tomorrow. And then I knew feel what I couldn't. And then I found more. There were two babies. And by the time I felt better enough, they all died. So if you're picking up shells like this on the beach, you got to shake them and see if they're inhabited. But otherwise, I don't know. I'm not navigating this ongoing reality very well. And I'm not really sure how to handle it. I go on and off. Sometimes I can do better, and some days just get me home. I can't take it. I wish I could unsee the sky and unsee what I see being done to humanity. And so I don't know. I'm happy to go in the forest and do my foraging and going out and doing other stuff. And I've talked about the um the obstacle course that driving in Seattle has become, and just all of it, just and the ongoing tech problems. It's as if I live in a Faraday cage here, where things don't load and it disconnects and reconnects, and all of these. I call it 1,000 cuts an hour. So I don't know. I guess that's all I got. Just kind of struggling, but I'm painting some. I'm making some paintings because I decided it was my daughter's birthday in early February, and it's hard to buy her things. She likes kind of high-end stuff, and I don't always get things right, or it's not in my price range. So I thought I'll make her a painting. But my usual style isn't what she would like, so I thought I want to try to make her a painting from one of my photographs of a view that she likes down from a park of me of Mount Rainier and the lake and all of that. And I have nice photographs of dusk and the light, and I pulled it off. It's nice. And she really liked it. And I thought, oh, I want to do more of these. So I've done two more. So that's good. They're fun. Yeah, I keep meaning to post some of those on the Patreon, my latest creations.
Well, it's nice you have something to pour that into, that being an inspiration that your daughter doesn't typically like your original style, and then doing something that's good that you can pour into that right now. You know, that's healthy because I mean, I think a lot of us are undergoing what to do with this energetic time that seems to be, I don't even know. I mean, it seems like I can't even see what's going on out there. There's very little information. Um, and I'm kind of, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I want to know or if I'm better just going outside and digging up some weeds out of my yard for a couple hours. You know what I mean? So it's kind of both, but I feel you, Sarah.
Mm.
I feel you. Yeah.
Feels like there's a lot of peddling, speculative peddling is
Hmm.
basically all the information you could find is
Yeah.
people peddling. Wouldn't it be cool if this is what happens is happening? And then we're going to talk about it. Yes, I think this could be happening. Oh my God, it's so amazing. I had you on to ask you if maybe this was happening, and you fucking turns out you think this is happening. Holy shit, that proves itself. There's really no reason to doubt that this is, and it's you're just like, yeah, man. And I actually felt bad for today's show because I wish I wasn't so um I've just been I've been really just busy. There's just a lot. It's not just mice. I've been just I can't believe how trash like constructively trash my house is right now. It's kind of insane. I'm covered in sawdust right now, but I it's all progress. It's all growth. I don't I on the mice, by the way, I've lived here for 15 years. I've never had a problem with any animals, but I have raccoons at night. I have deer during the day. In 15 years, I've had mice once. This is the one time. And in my mind, it was just an archetypal here's what's happening. I definitely thought about getting a cat, but I can't find my cat. My cat's dead. I can't. I've looked all over for BB. I cry for him all the time. Like, BB, I fucking miss you. Where are you? But he won't show up. So I see other cats. Saw a chimera cat, just like, hey, I'll come poop in your house. And I'm just like, you're not BB. I need to find BB, man. And there's a lot of death.
Mhm.
And when I drop the mice off, like, how do you how do I collect 12, 13 mice in one night? There's no mice last night. They all came. And it's the Pied Piper. It's kind of a magic. It's an exodus. It's a look. I really enjoyed you guys here. It's spring now. It's time to go. I'm not going to kill you, but I need you to get in this hamster cage. I'm going to take you to a place where I had our first fire. Like the first fire this group that has ever had, honestly. It was actually I set the cage down. Not really, I wasn't trying to even be dramatic. It's just I pulled up in the dark and I know where to park and I put the cage down right over where the fire ring was. And I put it there. Hasn't been used in a long time. One of the first guys at one of those fires, his name is Brent. He died like last month. Brent Shineman. So I think he was the first patron we ever had. It's there is there's a lot of death. My aunts died, my mom's died, my dogs have died, my cats died, my owls have died. You know, it's and they died well. They live to be a wise old owl. But animals die, and I don't mind people getting more than one animal, but I don't know how you do it. I don't fucking know how you do that. I don't fucking have any clue how that's doable. And I've had a couple of cats. But it's like you have to saturate, you have to connect to something here. You have to. If not, you go psychopathic. So you find sentimentality. I do it in animals. It's God forgive me for getting all. It's just the death is all around. It's been around for a year or two or three, and the changelings that it's occurred. But I really want this world to know how much I appreciate. So you have to be in the saddle while this is happening. Like, why would you not do that? Why would you be such a fucking poser and be like, well, I was there when everybody was bringing potato salad. Oh, look how close we are as fucking friends. And then when the death hits, it's just like, my job to be here for that too. And you got to find presence in it. You got to see the cobalt. That's literally expressions saved my life that I told myself is look how beautiful that cobalt blue is. Fuck. Oh. And you're crying, you're sad as fuck, and you're just like, God, it's like this purple bruise that's so beautiful, that color. Oh. Oh. And you look back and you start to think, I think I was milking this color sometimes in my past. when I didn't have enough of a dramatic teat to suck on, I would, romanticize about Peter fucking Cetera because he would sing shit and there's this woman you'd slow dance with and you just say, I want to taste cobalt, but you couldn't dive that deep. You can't do that. You gotta you gotta watch something die in your arms, You gotta whew, whew, ugh, you know. And it's not just about death. It's honestly death hasn't really been an issue with me for a while. There's other things that are just so much more terrifying. The schizophrenia of not finding other people that are saturating into something. And I don't have a cat, I don't have dogs, but I have a teddy bear. And that's really cool magic because I hear people, I don't mind this, but I hear people being like, oh, tech and AI, Zoom, you can't fucking connect. There's nothing human about it. No, 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 no. And it's like, I get it. I do. But if I can connect and sentimentalize uh, a teddy bear from Amazon, I am connecting to the same Gaia that has animals. It's the same. Sorry, I'm trying to cannot control my fieldings right now, but it's just
It's okay, James. It's okay to feel that way.
yeah, it is.
My
Like it's
my
really
stuffed
fun.
animal,
Go ahead, please.
this guy, this is Pup Dog. My little brother was mad at me. He fed him to our dog when I was in like fifth grade. So I made Ernie, my Ernie puppet, dedicated limbs and a little patchwork. So these are Ernie's legs, Ernie's arms, but this is Pup Dog. He's still kind of here. His eyeballs were eaten off, but he's not dead. So I have a hard time with it too.
Well, and it's constructive magic because if I leave the room, my bedroom, sometimes I catch myself. It's like, wait, you didn't say good morning to Captain Barry, and I'm just like, hey, what's going on? And I just touch him, and it really changes you. It shows you that you're a magician. It shows you that. And we don't practice that enough.
Thanks, James. I woke up in the middle of the night last night with a collective grief, um, to feel the death. There's just there's a dark, whatever, it's a Death Star or something that's on the planet. And I know that it's everyone that is human is, well, whatever. I think it's collectively here. And the art, there was a art show at the my little gallery place, and they were doing an art exhibit with Palestinian and Israeli, and there was a woman that I know that's a Holocaust survivor. So they were all going to talk at this art exhibit about how do we hold witness. So I showed up early for it, and I witnessed the Holocaust survivor. Um, she had a lot of vitriol, but I witnessed it. But I gave what I could, and if I would have stayed in that, I would have leaked calories to try to give salve where I didn't have the calories to give it. So I think it's really important at this time to manage the feelings and give what you can. And I appreciate where you at, James, because a person close to me died and had a celebration of life, and all the people that have come and gone out of this dojo, that you release the mice at the location where the first fire was, seems very symbolic. No mice, 17 mice out of, their little presence, not in your house anymore. There's some grief in that too, letting go of the animal
Yeah,
in
it's
your.
quiet here. I
Yeah.
noticed that. I'm like, oh man, little guys are gone. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not quiet here. It's,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Dark Bloom, go ahead.
Sorry, I use my old phone here. Um, it is. I do think there is emotion in that death. I also think it's kind of the same when we're fighting for our life, basically. But then we look back and we see all of the weird, and I guess I'll say weird is the Y or the WYRD serendipitous like Gaia Grace love that was within it. And you get to the other side and you actually weep over the beauty of like, oh my goodness, I was held continuously over and over and over. And I think part of what we're coming to terms with is how those two things are tied together. And I was thinking about this a lot on Saturday, that we can even connect right here and now and talk about these things. I'm going to be honest with you, 10 years ago, it felt like that would have been a no-go. It really, especially in my world in particular. And thank you, Lauren and Clinton, for showing off your little teddy bears. I've got an American Girl doll sitting right behind me named Molly. She's been with me since I was in 5th grade, and she sits right there right next to my altar, and that's where she's gonna stay. So that's all I got.
Thank you for that, Dark Bloom. Go ahead, Spencer. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see everybody. I wanted to touch on like I have roaches pretty often that I'm like at first. I mean, I've been to this place for like 9 years, so it's been pretty consistent with roaches. And at first it was aggravating, and I would kill them or get rid of them in some different ways, but it's become this thing where like it's like become I've almost felt like part of me. Like it's this extension of me, extension of the house, extension of life, where like every roach that's in the sink, like I'm making sure that they don't go down the drain, and like doing my best to just kind of throw and be like, just don't be in my space, like trying to have an agreement with them. And we had mice last year and the year before, but then I guess the landlord had put traps around the house. There's less mice. They still run around in the ceiling. Um, and I really like your ideas of just trying to catch them and release them somewhere else. That's kind of what I would like to do here. And also, I just wanted to show off my dog here first, because if you've never met her before, she's kind of my world at this point, and it's one of those things where she's become a star in her own right. Um, and her her life really, like, she was a stray. She I the first For some reason, me and a friend, we went to the um the shelter one day, and it was the first day she was on the floor. We were the first people to see her. She was a stray in Camden in February. It makes no sense why she was even there. She had no hair on her ears. She was all like messed up when first got her, and like she's all absolute sweetheart. And she's so thankful for being here. And it's been 9 years with her now, but only about it was by the June. It was like I got her in February, and by June, an incident essentially happened where like I wasn't home for the night. It was actually my birthday. I was out at a show, and a friend was watching her, and the way the back door was, the door was open, and the neighbor, who was a high school friend who was always coming down to my place, like dealing with his own thing, his drinking and stuff, and I learned that the universe doesn't hear no in this strange tragic event, because I was like, weeks before, I was like, he was messing with the dog, and I'm like, don't hurt the dog, don't hurt my dog, acting all I don't know what it was about it. And then, what transpired was he got a pit bull from the same place that I got the dog. And somehow that night, she ended up in the mouth of the pit bull and getting tossed around like a chew toy. And I mean, luckily I wasn't there. I didn't have to witness it. My friend's brother is the angel that took her to the hospital, and she like it was like I had got like this thing that I wasn't expecting to get, and then within 4 months I was just facing the fact that like my not being there for her she was going to die basically. And she had surgery, is missing a kidney. They fixed her spleen. They do all of this surgery to her, and she had a fentanyl patch. I mean, she's like an absolute warrior through all this whole thing. And then within 2 weeks, just back to being a normal, happy dog. And it was just like I feel like I had to share that part of the story of just like how quickly some things can go from you're not really knowing what this relationship is to just such an extreme like kind of traumatic experience. And now years later I'm like now I'm facing the fact that like she's becoming elderly and she's in the mortality of like I'm praying she'll be around for another 9-10 years because she's a Chihuahua and she'll hopefully live into her 20s, I would hope, if in all. But the just like you said, like I can't even imagine how you would want to even why I would want to do this in the first place. And then like because of all the love that she shows me, the like just total unconditional, absolute, just sweetheart. Her name's Lisa Baby. I forgot to mention that, Lisa Baby here. And yeah, just having her around and having the connection with her, and now moving into this place where like I think about her mortality like all the time, and I guess I'm kind of pre exposing myself to little bits of it because I know I would hope into the next decade or longer I'm going to have to not be with her. And it's at this point like I'm so fortunate to have my parents still, but like between her and the parents, it's like just those little bits of preparing yourself for those moments that like you know you have to get through. And I guess and it ties in with the current thing. The current place we're at is so hard for people that are really invested in it, who are leaking energy towards it and want to like put the energetic salve on it. And it's like I was watching someone's Instagram last night who makes a lot of good music, like, and but talks about a lot of the connections between the Maxwell family and the wars and all of these things. And I could feel it kicking up the fear in me, and I could realize how the fear was distracting me away from, I guess, an idea that James kind of presented, or I've heard, bring is that like if you kind of live in a world where nothing is wrong, like it is all happening, it is all unbearable in some ways, but there's nothing like wrong about it. There's nothing, and you can move into the fear and you can move into the sadness and the hate and all of it, but it's like being able to be resilient from realizing that like there's there's us in these circles that we can talk about stuff, and there's places you can put your energy where there's just some bits of relief. And I think that, I mean, I just wanted to share again that like that I mean, this little 6 pound resilient thing is like the antithesis of that. Just like somehow so much life can be in this little thing. And yeah, I don't just wanted to share that all of that kind of was coming up during all of this, and thank you all for all of this again.
Thank you, Spencer. And a little baby Lisa. So cute. I love dogs. It breaks my heart that, well, I did the best thing to gift my dog to a couple. She's really happy. I'm really sad. It was the hardest thing I ever did. I always thought that I would have to have a dog and a dog to spare because I just absolutely love the unconditional love a dog gives. And I can feel that in your voice, what a gift that little dog is. So thanks for sharing that. Go ahead, Clinton.
It just started raining outside, so Merle's barking like crazy. But Spencer, thanks for showing the Chihuahua. I used to have Miles Davis and Nina Simone. They were my Chihuahuas. They're spectacular creatures. Probably the best dog I ever had. As far as like, they do not know that they are little at all, and they're the most loyal thing. I'm gonna have to wait till Merle comes in about the rain, and I'll come back.
Okay. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, now I'm forgetting. Thanks for sharing your dog. I wanted to reach out and pet her. Yeah, I like dogs. I have a good resonance with dogs. Dogs like me. And I dog sit. It was the first dog I dog sat, Bella, an Australian Shepherd. As soon as I met her, I resonated with her and I called her my canine twin flame. And I would take care of her when my friend, the owner, was away. I would go to his place and walk her. And then when he was away longer, I had taken her in here and dog sat her. And would take her on my hikes in the forest here, and she just loved it. So nice. But she was old already. She was already, I guess, when I met her at 13, something like that. And then a couple years ago, my friend's situation changed. He had met someone and was living in her place, and she has a little dog who I dog sit also now. And that didn't work out between them. And she was 15 at that point, the dog was in his previous apartment, which was the basement, and pretty neglected. And he was about to make an appointment to put her down. And to me, like, no, no, don't do that. She has plenty of life left. And I offered to foster her, which I did. I took her on, and a week in, she got really sick. And he was away. And it was very cathartic. I was very upset. I would just lay with her crying, and I had tarps out on my floor here because she had become incontinent and couldn't move that much. I couldn't take her out to walk anymore. She couldn't get down my stairs. When she could, I had made her a sling with a pillowcase so I could help bring her up and down until we couldn't do that either. And he was away during that, and I told Bella, it's like, okay, if you want to wait till I know you need to go, it's okay if you need to go. And if you want to wait for Jules to get back, that's okay too. The day he got back was the night she got really bad, and he had to come get her and take her that night. And I grew up with lots of animals. We had collies and we raised them and everything from monkeys. I had pet mice and pet gerbils and pet turtles and whatever, all of this. I'd always loved animals. I miss having a pet, but I have plants and I talk to my plants. I don't have a stuffed animal. And I wasn't always good with house plants. I'm not so good, but I've gotten better. And I'll apologize to them if I don't water them soon enough because I can feel the vitality if they need it. And I'll take them and I'll say, I really appreciate you. So beautiful. Thank you. And a few years ago when I was at my daughter's and she had a plant that wasn't doing so well, and I went over and I talked to it and said, she's trying her best. I love you. It's okay. And she texted me after I got back and she said, that plant's doing really well. Did you tell it you love it or something? I'm like, yes, I did actually. So yeah, I think that's it.
Thanks, Sarah. Love the stories of the animals. James, your hands up. Go ahead.
Um, there's a little bit of philosophy or whatever you want to call it when the reason why I bring up the teddy bear, I just want to go into it more. First of all, there's nothing wrong with like just talk about teddy bear. You can just talk about teddy bear. But I bring it up on purpose because um, it's a more tangible form of magic that we practice, and it's one thing to have an altar to keep an altar. It's quite another thing to have an altar that you're speaking into, that you've imbued it with life and you greet it, and you if you leave the room, you come back and you're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, good morning, buddy," and then you just touch it and you're just on your way, and it makes me catch myself doing it. Uh, it's I always catch it because here's how it works. I hear the radar of rebuke. I hear that I've dissed my teddy bear. I emotionally hear that I've dissed this thing. And I want you to think about that. I am capable of feeling the delicacy of neglect from inanimate objects. And you feel the same thing in your email box. You feel the same thing if you voicemail sometimes. You feel this energetic pull, a kind of gravity, a kind of warping of emotional time and space, isn't it? And you are warping that. You were doing that. But when you start out, you're not ready to believe that you can warp emotional space-time. So we've invented the transient alchemy of animals. There's these cleaner organisms that are rushing through the system that are just furniture, energetic furniture. I really want you to think about that word furniture. The conceptual idea of furniture is a collection of objects that one would find in their house that would be suitable for lounging or sitting or existing. The necessities of things that you need before you could call this a place or a pad. Even the word pad has furniture in it. And that we tangibly need objects. We tangibly need objects to imbue with magic, to imbue with personality, with person, our personality. We imbue it like Pinocchio. You are geppetto-tizing everything around you, and it's a lot easier to do that with pets and humans. Anything animate, anything that's able to move and react to the environment is going to be an easier kind of thing to make cover with your mind. This force, it's a kind of force. The saturation that you connect to the furniture in the world is a kind of footing, right? It's a solidity. At least for me, it's the only time I feel alive when I'm seeing Lisa's face. Like I can feel the beaming. There's a gravity from that dog just through the camera. And it's just like, look at how adorable that is. The beaming of this. It's a beaming, it's a perturbation. And I think it's because there's a crucible of organisms, of cells that are collectively sacrificing each other and themselves for this higher state called a chihuahua. And everyone's just like, we got to hold this together, man. We could be a chihuahua. And it's like, I don't know. I'm losing a kid. He's like, don't you die on me. We got a fucking chihuahua here. We could do this. We could be a chihuahua. And there's other kinds of energy to be. we break down and we pleomorphically rise. We turn from a single blastocyst into a complex thing, a really complex being, and then we reduce ourselves back into maggots, into serpentines, right? Separate entities that all have their own consciousness, that are all separate. We phase out. We phase. Death is a kind of phasing like that. And it's not just the last 2 years. Since 2019, the entire world has been having to look at death in a different way. The white sun is the death sun too. It's showing you death because it's showing you everything. It's showing you every piece. And I find more solidity when I have footing. And the only way I have footing is using sentimentality to bury my clutches into the furniture of this world, whether it be animals, whether it be people. But more importantly, I think, is even the inanimate things, the color of your room. You pick the color, you touched every inch of the color in a visible way when you painted your room. You cast a spell where, for the first time since you've probably ever done something so complex, you touched every single point of space and declared it a certain color. You declared it. And this is a deep form of sentimentality that you're placing into your room. And every time you walk into your room, you have this subconscious cue of either, hopefully, I love this color, look at what I did to myself, or I fucking hate this color, I gotta change this color. Even that is a kind of haunting, a kind of furniture that you've used to build and fulfill something. And you know, the cockroaches, I think this is some of the most powerful magic that's been called to you, because these are familiars that we try and reject at first, that we try and say, well, I don't want mice, or I don't want cockroaches, or I don't want ants. And ultimately, this is a challenge. This is a, why are they not hearing that you own this place? Why do they not sense that you have enough entitlement to say, look, I need all this space. This is what I need. Or you can have this, but this is there's lines, there's perimeters. And if you violate that perimeter, I don't have to kill you. I can use my magic in other ways. I can Pied Piper these mice. I can call them forth just like Donald Trump does to say, hey, you want to go fight for the fucking Epstein army? Do you? Do you? You know, those 6 bodies they pulled off the fucking helicopter. Trump said to the media right away, as the dead bodies in front of the parents, yeah, these are, they sacrificed themselves and their parents are really proud. Their parents are so proud. Their parents told me how proud they were. They're just proud. They're just super proud. It's like the fucking sickest thing you could fucking say. The sickest thing you could fucking say. And this is the kind of death. This is the kind of white sun death that's there. And if you can associate into that furniture, if you can find solidity in that, because you get to reject things like that and find solidity, you get to find things grotesque. And just as you can connect to a teddy bear, you can connect to your rejection of something too. All of these things are limbic, sort of like cement footholds. And I want to be as sentimental during death as I am when things are easy. Does this make sense? I that's a special skill. I don't even know why I need it. I have no fucking idea why I'm saying I need to do what I need to do, except for that I recognize that, and I'm just like, you need to learn how to do this. You need to learn how to be present during death. And nothing has helped me do that more than Egypt. Nothing. This entire concept that you were born dead and that you came into this world, you're already in this land of the dead right now. You're learning how to remember that stuff. It's the same thing with like nothing's broken, Spencer. It's the exact same kind of magic, but it's just so much more powerful now because you really have a tangible way of understanding why people are behaving this way, why there's this subconscious driving force that's leading us all down this river of time into Matt to be where we judge ourselves by this feather. And I know we don't know that yet. I get it. That's the big secret. Don't tell anybody. But you ultimately are the one that's taking the ostrich feather, asking yourself, is my heart ready? Is my heart ready to go back into this other place? Or do I need to go back? Do I need to let the macrophagy just bend me? The bend stone is the very first creation, is the very first hump that happens because you've been swallowed whole. You've been eaten again. And now you're born again, you grow again, and you get to try this whole thing all over again. Only you would have the insight. Only you would have the insight to know, am I done here? Is this really it? And even all the fear we have about, oh, well, you're not, you might get fooled by a soul trap. It's like, why would you fool yourself and not know that you were fooling yourself? Like, what? Why are you going to be that naive? You need more solid footing. And so, all these things, looking at death, finding presence in this, it's there's a cobalt there, there's an orca color there, and I didn't say it in the live stream today. Not that I was trying to dodge it, but the time that I would spend carving open these little mice to pull their innards out, I knew was going to come back to me. I knew was going to be this is part of it, man. It like I got to be here. I got to look at this. I got like and this was part of it. The mice was part of it. The fact that I could collect them all in one night like that, when the night when I was ready, and it's like it's time, let's do this. And it only took like maybe 15 peanuts. That's really all it took. Non-salted raw peanuts. It's just a vibration, you know? It's a perturbation, it's a vibration. And by the way, someone said, "Oh, well, you're just giving out food." No, I actually went to a specific place, knowing for fuck's sake, this is exactly where the owls are not going to be able to find you guys. I know how owls fucking work because I used to feed owls mice. I fucking know how this works. And even if those guys are dead, if half there's black snakes out there, there's all kinds of critters out there. Even this is why you need to look at death, not you, but this is why I need to look at death. I want to see this. I Thalmy Keesley, I really want to understand this compost, this magic of the compost. This fuck, how do we start a village? Well, you kill someone. You need to pick the prettiest person around. You just fucking slaughter her. Just let her bleed all over the fucking stone. And you just wait a few years and the whole place is just going to bloom. It's just like, what the God, what a weird place, you know? It wouldn't be weird though if we're already dead. What I just told you would be the biggest clue that you're already dead is all the death magic that we would practice down here. And that's all I see us doing. That's all we're doing is death magic, you know? That's all I got for now.
Oh, go ahead, Spencer.
I know exactly what that feels like in some ways that like it's so weird to have these little things that are little bits of magic that I thought of thing that when I was a child, um I was put in front of like, some of the old school computers. You had to, type in the command lines, and there was some game where I knew how to type in the game for this mouse game, and the computer had a mouse. And then at some point when I was in 3 or 4, like my imaginary friend was Little Mouse, and I I kind of forget that like there's this connection between like me and Little Mouse, and I had this friend that I think it was maybe a little plush toy I had, or just like whatever it was that and whatever that connection that is like is given to me by something, and maybe the other place where we were at before we came here to be dead, or like there's just like something it's a pull where uh it, like invoking the magic or incantating the magic into these little things too. Like I don't know if it's just epigenetics and maybe people in my line were just really like little things, but like I just put up a shelf, just like last week of a lot of things I had put into drawers. Like I had stuff in drawers, just moving stuff around, and then finally like putting up some shelves and putting all the little things around. It just energetically felt so good because that was when I was a kid. I had all these shelves with all of the little things, and I would every once in a while I would move them all around, and then at some point, during growing up, it's just like I guess someone was like, "That's stupid" or "That's gay," and like I shut so much of that down for a long time, and then I finally gotten back into just like allowing that to flow, and it feels like beyond right, or it's beyond the thing that like I want to be doing. It's like if I'm not doing that, then like things are off. There's a static there where when I don't have all the little tchotchkes around in their little places all next to each other, and like I know that I'm gonna make them all look different once they get kind of dusty and clean them off and get new ones, and how much magic is in that. Like I guess I never, but not until whatever kind of transpired in my life to like open up to like the hardcore magic of the getting the connection with the inanimate object, the connection with the bears and all of the teddy bears and things that I have in this bin that I've wanted to give away or get rid of or do something with for the entire time I've had them, because it's just like, oh, these are just things I had when I was a kid, but I can't get rid of them for some reason, and it's such a stronger pull than even my conscious mind and parts of me are like allowing myself to realize, and where I'm constantly kind of like unraveling those parts that is now like this is what like my being here is very molded and very like driven by just these little inanimate objects and
If
the
you
connections with having friends, like imaginary friends. Yeah.
if you think about the idea that we are sort of in a dream time hallucinatory dead state, whatever, that this is a everything that we're discussing is the imbuing of you stamping furniture inside this voxelled world, this time space world. And whether it be all the toys that you played with as a kid, whether it be the art that you made, whether it be the logos that you tapped into as a child, the first corporate logos that you started to say, "Man, I really like Bolay, or I really don't like Oakley. I like Bolay. You're picking your brands, you're deciding, you're trying on these different things because there's an invisible, intangible energy that's stored inside of this logo. And the logo is what stores it. It's the shape of the logo, the shape of the sigil, the shape of your name, of your signature, the shape of your clothing, the shape of how you hold your posture. Shape is everything. It holds the ability to be imbued with presence, and that presence is only, I think, imbued through witness. This happens in quantum. You witness something and you collapse the wave. So when you collapse the wave, you're actually stamping the wave. You're engramming it. You're engramming it with a certain kind of saturation and solidity. What is that saturation? How you feel when you were experiencing that furniture. I don't mean how happy you are or how sad you are. I mean how saturatedly happy you are or how saturatedly sad you are. Do you understand the difference? The amplitude is a resolution in pixel space, and that resolution is the exact equivalent to your power to imbue, stamp anything in this world, any single shape, whether it be the mane of your cat, the fur. Why do you think animals have fur? I think it's because they're holding imbuement. Trees have fur and leaves. They're holding imbuement. The shapes, the underside of the leaves collect your collapsed limbic feeling about them. It's why they bloom. It's why they burst in colors the way they do, because they know you will see them more. The tannins are there to extract your saturation because they're drinking that kind of witness. If you think about the world this way, the teddy bear becomes just as important as your car keys, just as important as your cat, just as important as the animals that you see on your way to work, just as important as the people in your life. I didn't say that people are now being reduced. I'm asking you to elevate every single potential for furniture, because ultimately, if you really want to know who the people are in your life, I'm sorry to break it to you, it is imbuement that you've stamped into an animal that you're calling a person. And you've given them a name, and they've got a credit score, and you can put a GPS tracker on their car and like watch them cruise around, and you're sold that they're a separate identity of the world and that they're this thing. It's like that thunder Gnostic thunder poem that Lori had posted. One of the lines was, I am I am the result of what you seek. It's just like, fuck yeah, you are. That's how that's how effervescent I am. You will never know me. I am simply the result of what you seek. These are, oh God, that's some deep talk, man. Right? And I think it all makes sense when you think about it. This dead, voxelled dream state, Maya. That I think Maya is the best word for it. That state of illusion, that Maya, that tangible plasmatic space. And this is really the only case for free will I think you could ever make. I swear to you, the only case, because the free will is dead. I'm telling you, we can talk about it later, but all the scientists are going to tell you free will is dead, except for when you jump into saturation consciousness. It's the only thing I think you're going to find. It still has a pristine hold over free will, because your ability to saturate is such a power you have. And it starts with, how do you feel when you look at blue? And it's going to be a collection of all the shitty times that you looked at blue before. I'm talking about not sad times. I'm talking about how shitty you were at saturating yourself in the moment of blueness. Do you understand? There's a teal. Fucking hate that color. Bothers the shit out of me. I'm just like, why the fuck are you here, teal? Fucking, why are you here, fucking teal? Great. Teal has
I've
entered the room.
I've got
Great. That's
another
just practice. Go ahead.
a thing that came up just now, and I was trying to think of the best way to put something funny into this situation where there's two flock cameras like right near my house now, and I just keep thinking of just driving my car into it and like, whoa, whoops. But then I also was thinking like, it needs like a sign, or it needs like a dress, like it needs to get the awareness going that like this should be, you know decorated in a clown type fashion, and it just got me thinking of like imbuing that kind of energy into this thing that like no one wants around. No one agreed to have this thing survey this area, and that like who knows who's has access to this, and yeah, just I want to dress it up. I want to do something and just put at
This is
least
such
some
a
awareness into
this is
it.
such a fucking cool piece of magic that you have. You found a red pheasant. It's right there. One way of looking at it would be, uh, I have to expose this, or I have to make this expensive, or I have to pollinate. That's completely legit. It's awesome. A whole other way is to be like, okay, whenever the flock camera's there, I have to do something dramatic because it's on a flock camera. and then it
Bird,
becomes,
make bird, do
yeah,
bird things.
it becomes a hyper, it becomes a zone. You know what it is? It's fucking hopscotch, isn't it? Someone drew a hopscotch right in front of that camera. And you're walking by and you if I mean some of you probably have the ability to walk down the sidewalk and just walk over a hopscotch. I mean, I don't know of anybody, but I'm just saying there's probably someone's probably fucking perfected a way of doing that. So this is kind of a red pheasant. It's an opportunity to exactly decorate that furniture for you, to imbue that for you, and for others, right? It's yeah, this is great stuff. I think this is the collapsing of the wave, even with the protocol state overlords watching you. That this is an actor on a stage that you get to incorporate into your imbuing of that furniture, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Thanks for the hopscotch idea. That
good,
may
good.
actually happen.
Yeah, good stuff. And I saw a hopscotch, which was like it was like a person drew it with chalk, and at the very last one, it was dance. The last one you went, and so that most people didn't go right by it. They did the hopscotch and then they danced. So it's a great idea. We have two people's hands up, and we have about 9 minutes. So we have Lauren and then Clinton. Go ahead, Lauren.
I'll go quickly. We've
No,
talked
no,
about a
don't
lot
go
of
quick. You got
interesting
time.
things. Um,
Yeah.
but Spencer, you kind of inspired me to want to share this picture of Lillian. This is my daughter's Chihuahua. Made it to 14 years old. Kind of taught her what it was like to be a mom, and she ended up passing, but the dog had an excellent life. It came from the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and just was treated really well. Um, Weighted plushies also. I do have this on Facebook. It kicks the magic up a whole nother level because there's like a bean bag in there. So now you've got a little bit of substance and it calms you down a bit. But yeah, as far as animals, I just had a whole crew of turkeys come back after the winter and they're starting to use their crazy claws and tear stuff up. They're great though. They also do the tom-tomming dance with their tails. I have oodles of animals out there. I view them all as an extension of like myself. It's great. And I'm like waving at them. They get used to it. I'm talking to turkeys on a daily basis, and I couldn't be happier. But also talking about animals and hitting by car, as you were speaking, James, reminded me what you had said quite a while ago about us needing natural land bridges for these animals to cross because I cannot stand it when I see, you know, the animals that didn't make it on the road. So thought it was just an opportunity to mention that because that did stay with me. I think it's an excellent idea.
It's
Anyway,
such an easy thing to do. I mean, seriously, considering what we do, considering how much money we spend on shit, considering all the things that it's such a doable thing.
it would add a lot of beauty too.
It'd be amazing,
Mm.
and we'll catch on. But it's a litmus, isn't it? It's a litmus to know how far
It really
we have
is.
to go, you know. Yeah.
It was great seeing you guys.
See you, Lauren. Thanks. Go ahead, Clinton.
Uh, Miles Davis lived to be about 20, Spencer, so that was pretty cool. Um, the most, the closest to loss I had lately, I had a beautiful little hummingbird building its nest right outside my window, and it abandoned the nest a couple days ago. And I'm just watching the nest kind of deteriorate. It's not kept, so that's a little sad. But I was blessed with the opportunity to watch my grandma leave her body. And the fear of death completely left me when she died. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And gave me a ton of reassurance for, whatever we're doing here. I remember one time she told me, she says, Clinton, she called me C Dub. She said, C Dub, I don't know what I did, but I'm going to be here till I figure it out. She would just said some of the coolest things about, this place. And the hardest thing for me right now is just the fact that, I mean, it's all a hallucination because most of the shit seems so fake. The most real thing I have is you beautiful people, and I'm staring at my little telephone right now, and I want to get rid of my smartphone, but I have Dojo. So, I mean, it's kind of like I got to keep it. So, I love you guys. I'm happy for this place. I really dig what you've been doing, James. Just staying busy. The world is giving you plenty of stuff to talk about. I don't know if they're gonna jump on anytime. I tried to say it last time. I love it that you don't have millions and millions of followers, just because I feel like you're genuine. It's not something that's paid for. It's your. If any. So I'm happy to be here with you. Thanks, guys.
Can I chime in here? Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Clinton. Go ahead.
Again, it's good to see everyone. So I was experiencing today. I kept noticing that I wanted to speed up doing stuff. So I've been really aware of slowing myself down. And oh my, it was a dance today. I mean, even like with doing chores, whatever. When I slow down, I'm in so much more symbiosis, however you want to call that, just connecting. And I usually have music on, and at one point I slowed down and I was like just consolidating some trash, and I started to like cha-cha. It just like this music came on, I'm cha-chaing with my trash can. It was just like and I laugh, and I tell you, I'm finding so much joy and so much joy amongst all this stuff. And I'm like, a part of me is like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just like we talked recently. We're not a part of it. We're in it. We're observing it, and when something hits me really hard, I just sit with it and love it and I'm so thankful for just all of it, whatever it brings me or helps me more to connect. You guys know what I mean. I just love everyone here so much.
Thank you, Nancy. Love you too, and love everybody here. It's been I was doing the same kind of thing today. I was like present moment to present moment, and it seems like I like the last, I don't know where, maybe it was on, I get it all mixed up, but maybe it was radio, Turtle Island Report, but about occupying your house and going into each space and filling it, So I was up in my upstairs, which I don't go up there, and there was I try to catch them. I get these little dinosaurs that come in the house. They're like these little green lizards, chameleons, and it died on the bed. It was like frozen, like shriveled up on the bed. I guess there wasn't enough food in the house to eat, and I had a little ceremony for it. But I had, I catch them when I can, but I don't always know where they are. They're like mysterious little dinosaurs, and they're fast. And if you catch them by the tail, their tail falls off, and then they get to grow another one. But I don't like to have a tail in my hand, so it's a tricky thing to put a cup over a lizard while it's in action. So I really appreciate getting to moderate tonight. It's an honor to be in this tribe with all of you guys. You inspire the heck out of me. I always have food for my soul and my heart, and I give so much gratitude. So next time, if anybody's new here, please raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want to unmute and say goodbye, be great. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Good
Good
night, everyone.
Good to see everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good week.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, such
Lisa.
sweetheart,
Oh,
Lisa.
Oh, the thing.
Oh my God.
Lisa.
That's so great. We need
It's
to have
good
a dog
medicine.
here. We need to have like an animal dojo once. Just
2
Oh,
hours a day.
yeah. Mhm.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks so
Right.
much.
Okay.
Hey, good to see you, Trevor.
Yeah, I like
Bye-bye.
seeing your
yeah,
baby
the
too.
baby. Oh,
Babies.
He's kind of. I'd bring him back over, but he's getting grumpy. It's time to put him to bed.
Well,
he's
it's good to see you.
adorable.
Yeah,
He's so
adorable.
cute.
Adorable.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
See you guys.
Take care.
Bye.